Let's talk major 7 chords. And this example, I want to go back to C major, and I'll be going back to it quite a bit more in the future videos because, you know, no sharps, no flats. It's easy for the brain, and then you just move it around, move the shapes around, and figure out the rest of the stuff later when it comes to a different key. So, what does it mean to have a 7th chord, especially a major 7 chord? It's still a C chord, but we add the 7th note from the scale, which means, let's go back to the example where I play the C scale horizontally or across one string. So we have a whole step between C and D, so that's one whole step. Second whole step between D and E. Then on the 3rd and the 4th degree, remember these are degrees, the notes in the scale are degrees. We have a half step, EF, then a whole step, then a whole step, then a whole step, and then in the end we have a half step. So the formula for every major scale, or actually for a major scale in every key, is whole step, half step, and then whole step, whole step, half step. And what that means is you basically take the 7th note, the last note from the scale, and you add it into a chord, which means your fingerings will have to, you know, adjust accordingly, because while we for example, in this first basic position, we have a C on the A note, 3rd fret. We have a major 3rd is E, G on open string, 3rd string. Then we have another C here, and when you include the B note, you gotta give up something. And in this case, we give up the octave here, the C, on the 2nd string. And you might be wondering, why haven't I done that here? So technically, this could also be C major 7, but you know, since the bass is now B, it's too dominating sounding, and you know, this is then a completely different chord. So yeah, in the first position, we just lift the first finger and we get a C major 7 chord. So now our arpeggio for this chord has another added note besides the 1, 3, and the 5. Now I have the 7. It's a 3rd on top of the 5th. If you are following me. So what it looks like is, on top of this, 1, 3, 5, 1, 3, 5. Let me do it like this: 1, 3, 5, 1, 3, 5. I have to add the B note, so I have to have 7, 1, 3, 5, 7, 1, 3, 5. Isn't that great? Yeah, it is. Opens up a lot of new stuff. But as a sound, you know, don't worry about, you know, improvising or whatever. Just as a sound, get used to it. So in the intro, I made this little loop, and you know, I faded in with volume swells on the guitar here. I faded in exactly these notes, the 1, 3, 5, and the 7, so I get this. And all of a sudden, because this 7th, you know, this note, the B note, is in the chord, in the that's playing in the loop, it's all of a sudden it's a legitimate thing that you can, when you solo, you can stop on it. Even though it's half step lower and it should sound dissonant, all of a sudden it it's a note you can rest on. Isn't that cool? And back home to the root note. Yeah, a little insight on one of the basic rules of soloing is, you know, on which note you want to end the phrase. And when you have the major 7th chord, you're fine if you end your phrase on the B note in this case, you know. So how do you look at this? You look at this as, the way I view it is, it's just, you know, where's my root note? It's here. Just drop it a half step. I have a major 7th chord. In this case, remember the A shape. Slide up to the 5th fret, bar on the 3rd fret, across the strings, play the chord. Now you have C, G, which is the 5th, and then another C here. Just drop that sucker down. So it's like this. So now I'm playing from top to bottom, from the thinnest E to the lowest E. I'm playing 3, 3rd fret, 5th fret, 4th fret on the G string, 5th fret on the D string, and 3rd fret on the A string, and I'm not really doing anything with the low E string. Yes. Another example up here. We all know this shape, the E chord shape, way up barred on the 8th fret. So what you have to do is, again, find the C note. In this case, it's on the D string 10th fret, and just drop it down. But you have to reorganize your fingers a little bit. So now you have this chord, which is, I'm playing, when I analyze it, actually what I'm playing is C 8th fret E string, G 8th same fret B string. I keep the major here. This is E 9th fret G string, but instead of C here I play a B here, and then this is the 5, you know, the G note on the A string 10th fret, and then this is the 8th fret C. So what you have to do is put your fingers like this. And if you play it like this, the small bar chord, you have this C to drop a half step, so then you get this. You get E7, B8, G9, D10. And for now, I think these would be 3 basic, you know, chord shapes that you can modify by lowering the higher root note, the C note, a half step, and just get a beautiful C major 7 chord. Of course, if you can play it here as a C chord, I gotta stop looking at the screen, it's ridiculous. Then, if you want to slide it up, you have an E major 7th chord here, D major 7th chord, C sharp major 7. Hey, you get the idea. Okay, thanks for watching. stay tuned for more on C major 7 chords. Subscribe, support, donate.